solve a number problem involving consecutive integers. So this has a couple of things in a row that we need to talk about. First, consecutive. Consecutive integers are numbers, and more specifically, integers that immediately follow each other. So, for example, we could have 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and we could go on and on and on, immediately following each other. Or they could also be negative. -5, -4, -3, -2, right? Every time we are simply adding 1 from the previous. That's the idea of consecutive and the fact that they are all integers. Now, in general, if I just said my first number is x and x is an integer, how do I get the next one? Well, based off this pattern, I would take whatever number I started with and I would add 1, right? So thinking through this, if x is 8, then 8 plus 1 gives me 9. So my next number would be x plus 2 because 8 plus 2 gives me 10. My next number would be x plus 3 because 8 plus 3 is 11. So you see 8, 9, 10, 11. So this is kind of the general form for consecutive integers. Okay, let's put that to use. The sum of two consecutive integers is 71. Find the numbers. Okay, so here's the deal. First off, we have sum. Sum means add, right? I'm going to add two consecutive integers. I don't know what they are. So the first one we will call x. The second one, since I know it's consecutive, I will say the next one is x plus 1. So if I add my first number and my second number, I get 71. Now we want to go ahead and simplify. Remember that an equation, right, equal sign, you do the same thing on both sides. Well, first on the left side, I can say that x plus x. If that a number, it means we have a coefficient of 1. So I really have 1x plus 1x is 2x. So 2x plus 1 equals 71. Now my goal is to get the x by itself. So I always start farthest away from the variable. In this case, plus 1 is the farthest away. So I'm going to subtract 1 from both sides using inverse operations. 1 minus 1 is 0. So I'm left with 2x equals 70. And my last step, I do the opposite of multiplying, which is dividing, because 2 over 2 is simply 1. I'm left with 1x equals 35. So by this, we mean that our first number is 35, and then 35 plus 1 gives me 36. So my two numbers would be 35 and 36. And check them. If 35 plus 36 equals 71, then we know we're correct. Let's do one with negative numbers. The sum of two consecutive integers is negative 105. Find the numbers. Okay, same idea. We have x and x plus 1. But now when I add them together, I'm getting a negative number. So we should know that our negative, right, we're going to have two negative numbers. So 2x plus 1 equals negative 105. Be careful with your negatives. When I subtract 1 from both sides, negative 105 minus 1 gives me a negative 106, right? It becomes more negative. So now when I divide both sides by 2, x is negative 53. If I add 1 to that, negative 53 plus 1, that's negative 52. So those are my two numbers that when I add together, I get negative 105. Let's do one where it's three numbers. Last one, three consecutive integers. So I have x plus 1, and x plus 2. When I add these three together, I get 39. Okay, so what do we have? We have 1, 2, 3 x's. 1 plus 2 is 3, and that equals 39. Great. Well, again, we want to isolate x, so I subtract 3 from both sides. 3 minus 3 is 0. I'm left with 3x equals 36. Divide both sides by 3. You'll see the process is basically the same, but now we know that x is 12. 12 plus 1 gives me 13, and 12 plus 2 gives me 14. These three numbers together give me a sum of 39, and there's consecutive integers.